Hi, my name is Sarah, and for my cultural presentation, I partnered up with a good friend of mine who loves to share her Puerto Rican heritage. I asked her if she would be willing to teach me how to cook an authentic Puerto Rican dish. We cooked our dish on April 20th, and we made arroz con candules. So I just wanted to share some traditional Puerto Rican food before I jumped into what we cooked. Um, when I visited Puerto Rico a few years ago, I had many foods on my list to try. Um, I learned that, like everywhere else, everyone had their own take on traditional dishes. A few that I would personally like to point out are mofongo, lechon asado, pasteles, and arroz con gandules. Um, so on the bottom right, you have your mofongo. And mofongo is a deep fried plantain mixed with garlic and mashed up together. It can also contain various meats or vegetables, or it can be served plain. Um, on the far left, at the bottom, there's lechon asado, which is the meat from a whole pig that is marinated in a mix of garlic, oregano, black pepper, vinegar, and water. It is then roasted slowly for several hours over hot coals to make it really nice and moist. And it makes the skin very crispy. And then in the middle, the bottom there, you have pasteles, which is similar to tamales, but it's made with banana masa and stuffed with pork meat. They can also be made vegetarian with root vegetables. And then the very top there, that's what I made. That particular picture is not mine, but mine looked very similar. It is arroz con gandules. It's a signature dish in Puerto Rico, and it contains gandules, which is pigeon peas. It has rice, sofrito, and it has pork. A quick history of arroz con gandules. The gandules in the arroz originated in Africa about 3,500 years ago. Um, Gandules are a popular protein in India. I had never heard of them until I went to Puerto Rico, and I never see them in the stores here. So my friend had to show me where to go get them. um, Most people outside of the Caribbean and West Indies aren't familiar with pigeon peas unless it is in your culture. And this dish is also connected to the diet of the Taino Indians, and those were the island's original inhabitants. A small fun fact, in the early 1900s, immigrants from Puerto Rico were recruited to work on Hawaii's sugar plantations. The immigrants brought the gandula shrub with them so they could continue making many traditional dishes while they were there. So this recipe needs quite a few things. So you can see I have a basic list there. I needed achiote oil, which we made from scratch. It needed 1 cup of sofrito, which we also made from scratch. We did not put the olives in this dish, but they are a normal item in the dish. No one in my household or my friend's household are Spanish olives fans, so we skipped it. It needs salt and pepper, cumin. We use smoked pork neck. We don't actually eat it, we just use it for flavoring. And we use canned pigeon peas rather than frozen. And then we used rice, beef broth, and banana leaves. So you can see in the picture there, we have the beef broth, we have the gandules canned at the bottom there, the banana leaves in the pack right behind. This is the sofrito that we made from scratch. Sofrito is used as the base of almost everything cooked in Puerto Rico. So you'll see that it has onions, it has peppers, it has garlic, bell peppers, ajicitos, tomatoes, culantro leaves, and of course cilantro. All right, it's time to cook. So, small disclaimer here, guys. I don't cook, but she made me cook the whole thing. So, I had a nice cooking lesson on April 20th. So, first we had to make the achiote oil. We used annatto seeds and olive oil, and we cooked them on medium until the olive oil took on a deep red color from the annatto seeds. We also wanted to make sure it didn't burn as well, but we wanted to get a nice smoky flavor. And then after we had the flavor and color we were hoping for, we strained it into our larger cooking pan. So you can see at the beginning, you had the olive oil color and then you have that nice deep red. It was beautiful. Yeah, there I am cooking, guys. So in case anybody was wondering, I did actually cook. um, so after I added the oil, I put the sofrito blend in, and then I mixed it along with pepper and cumin. And then once I had it all mixed together and let it simmer a little bit, I added the rice and the salt and stirred that up. So you can see the rice kind of had a chalky texture, which is totally normal. All right. Next, after stirring that up, we added the beef broth and the gandules, which are the pigeon peas. Once those were added and all mixed up, I added in the pork necks to allow the dish to leach some flavor while it simmered. You can see I'm kind of putting the pork necks in the bottom there, the bottom right. All right, we're almost done, guys. So we let the rice simmer. We let it sit under banana leaves for about 20 minutes to half an hour. The reason we put banana leaves on there is to really leach the flavor from the leaves into the rice. So I had the pork neck sitting right underneath the banana leaves. I wasn't allowed to stir it. I like to stir things a lot, so she had to keep me away from the stove. But you can see there in the second picture, we went to open it up. You can see a lot of the liquid has dissipated. You can see the pork neck peeking out there. But that gives you a really good idea. You might also notice we're cooking with a cast iron pot. This pot is close to the type of kitchenware that you would use in Puerto Rico to make this kind of dish. So we wanted to use something close to it. And here's our finished product. So you can see, looking at the picture, there's just a ton of flavors going on. We didn't eat the pork neck. I tried it, just a little bit of it. But the rice has, it has so many beautiful flavors with the cumin and the banana leaves and the pork. I'm not a huge pork fan, but even with that, it was so delicious. The really great thing about this meal is, while it's designed to be something that you have at Christmas time or a family gathering, you really can eat it any time of the year, and it goes with virtually anything. We had so many leftovers, we paired it with dishes for about 4 days. But I would definitely make this again, and it was just really neat to use all of the items that are authentic to Puerto Rico. So I hope you guys learned a little bit about it from me. If you want to try it, let me know. It's delicious, and I highly recommend it to go with your dinner tonight. But thank you for hopping on and listening to my presentation. Thanks, guys.